All right, we're here with Solbach, and one of the trends we're finding in the industry is more environmental consciousness within the industry and the materials that are being used, and these surfboards fit the bill.
Yeah, this is our Concept Blue SLS construction, brand new for 2025. We first did this construction last year in 2024, and we've updated it a little bit this year. We made it a little bit lighter than last year, a little bit better flex, but these boards are made in Italy, in Sardinia, and they're all made, as much as possible with environmentally friendly materials or sustainable materials. So the core is a recycled EPS. All the resin that's used in these boards is bio-based resin. It's a Sicomen resin out of France. It's kind of regarded as one of the most environmentally friendly resins in the surfboard industry. And then this material here you can see here is a basalt Inegra mix. So basalt is a natural material, comes from stone, and we dampen it down with this white weave that's interweaved in between here. That's just a kind of it's in a Inegra weave. It just kind of dampens the vibration, makes the board a little bit more flexible. In the deck here, you can't really see it, but we have a cork inlay inside here, and that cork is also sourced right there in Sardinia. It comes from Italy, so it doesn't have to travel too far. So yeah, just trying to use as sustainable materials as possible. It's got a pretty cool look with the basalt, with a sort of hexagonal pattern on here, and yeah, we're pretty stoked about this. So this is one of our two constructions for this year.
And from an environmental point of view, like when you guys ship the boards, the packaging has changed immensely over the last years.
Yeah. I mean, our boards used to ship in plastic and styrofoam and all this stuff, and if you get a board from us now, it's just all cardboard. Everything. There's not a single piece of plastic in the packaging, so you can basically unpack the board. It's all like cardboard wrapping. You can just basically take the board out and put the whole packaging right in the recycle bin, and it gets recycled. So it's a small thing, but we just try to do what we can. So
super cool stuff.
Yeah, and then the other construction, this is brand new for 2025. This is our D-Lab construction. This is a construction we worked on for a couple years, and pretty different from what we were doing before. If you pick up one of these boards, the first thing you'll notice it's extremely light. They're the lightest boards we've ever made by quite a big margin. Wow. And we're getting really consistent weights out of the factory. We're not getting much variation in that weight. And that's because we're using a new reflex memory foam inlay here. The foam that we used to use was a little bit more porous. Some pieces were more porous than others, so we get some variation in how much resin was being absorbed. With this new shock absorber in the deck, we're getting really consistent weights because it's a closed cell foam. These boards are full carbon, so they have almost no fiberglass in them, just a really small layer on like a 2-ounce layer on the very outside to seal everything. But the main structure of this board is carbon, and it's got some Inegra on the rails just for impact resistance. And I think when most people hear that a board is full carbon, they immediately think, oh, it's going to be stiff and hard. But in fact, these are not only the lightest boards we've ever made, but also the best dampening boards we've ever made. They have a really great feel through the water, really good flex. They're really forgiving and really responsive at the same time. So I think the best thing is for people just to jump on these boards and ride them, and you'll feel how comfortable and great they feel through the water. There we go. So we've got a few different models for 2025. We actually tried to simplify our surfboard range for this year and just cut it down to 3 main models. In the past we had 4, so we have 3 models with 2 constructions. So every board comes in both the D-Lab construction and the SLS Concept Blue construction. So first up we have our whip. This is a slightly new shape from last year. We had a really aggressive bottom channel on the previous one. We've gone to a more simplified bottom shape. We found this to be much faster, so the board's not quite as stuck to the water. Just gives you more speed, more acceleration in small waves just for speed generation. It's kind of just a light double concave that gets progressively deeper all the way out the tail. A little bit more rocker in the nose, a little bit narrower nose, and that just, the board's faster and it's a little bit more free through the water, a little quicker through the turns, but generally, you know, in a very similar category to the previous whip. If you like last year's whip, you're going to love this one. It's just a little bit more exciting to ride, I would say, a little bit faster and turnier. Then we have a brand new board, the Blur. This is, you know, we used to have the Session, which was our round tail, sort of bigger wave board, and then we had the Wham, which was a squash tail. We merged both of those boards into one board, which is now the Blur. So if you're looking for an all-rounder with a pointed nose, kind of more traditional shape, this is a board that kind of works in everything. I think it's, you know, it really fits the bill to be an all-rounder. If I'm going to the beach and I don't know what the waves are going to be like, this is the one board I can throw in my car. It works from small waves up to well overhead waves. And yeah, it's just a really universal shape that you can kind of use in everything. Then we have the Volt. This is kind of a high-performance small wave board. So if you're riding kind of mushier waves, you want to have a board that generates speed really well. This is a great board for that. It's sort of short and wide. Has a similar bottom shape to the Whip, where it's got this double concave. I've been really liking this bottom shape just for, you know, it's really easy rail to rail, really quick from your toe to heel edge, and just seems to accelerate really well and offer you a lot of speed in small waves. So that's a great small wave specialty board.
Sounds like a perfect Great Lakes board.
That's probably a Great Lakes board. Yeah, perfect. And then in sort of a different category, so that's sort of our three main surfboards. And then if you're looking for something really specific for strapless freestyle, we have the Provoke. This just comes in one size, just a 5'1". And this is a pretty unique construction. It's a solid PVC core, so high density core. No styrofoam in here, just high density foam wrapped in carbon. So it's really light and really strong. And it's got this aggressive bottom channel, so really good grip, really wide tail for takeoffs, give you that extra pop you're looking for when you're doing strapless freestyle. It's got a pretty cool deck shape here where your heel sits lower than your toes. That allows you to get the board over on the rail really easy to give you a really aggressive edge. And it also kind of creates a grab rail, so when you're jumping, you got something easy to grab onto. And yeah, that's kind of the go-to strapless freestyle board.
Sweet. Thanks, Scott.
All right.